Julianne today, who's a great client of ours in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And she's been a client of ours for some time, has gotten good results by following the Vyral Marketing plan of staying in touch with her Mets, her existing database, of publishing helpful videos and putting out direct response messages to get people to call her in her list. But make no mistake, as we all know, the real estate market is difficult now. There's a lot less homes selling. So you have to reach a lot more people to find somebody who actually wants to sell their home, not even so much buying one. And the story today is Julianne really took to heart our plan that you have to build your database for us to stay in touch with it. And she decided to get a list of all the homeowners in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania that were a little more statistically likely than not to sell their home, and to send them all a cold letter to get them to call her so she can talk to them and add the people who are actually thinking about selling their home to her database, which is lesson 1 of the 8-week class that I teach for all of our customers. Or if you're a prospect thinking about hiring us, or just a student wanting to learn more, you can go to classes on the top of our website and watch them every single week. I work with a couple clients to help them get good results in our program. Julianne was one of them in the last semester. And the very first lesson of the 8 lessons is, are you building your database correctly for us to stay in touch with it? And we're going to dive into that lesson number 1 today, what Julianne did on this success interview. So with that, Julianne, welcome. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So how long have you been selling real estate?
Over 20 years now.
20 years. And what's the state of the Gettysburg real estate market? How big is it? Let people know fill us in on the Gettysburg real estate market.
Well, it's a pretty much rural market, a tourist town. We get a lot of transient people coming in for, the battlefield and Civil War history. But we also get a lot of snowbirds, that want to live here, and then go south for the winter. Have a lot of farms and different types of homes. Typical market for us is between $250,000 and $250,000 to $350,000 for a home. And it's a tough market because right now, last month, we had 40 listings available for sale when we usually have upwards of 200. And of those 40 homes, 24 of them were brand new to-be-built construction homes. The rest were resales, and it was a free-for-all for those that are already built, because new construction in most of the areas, 6 to 8 months to be able to move into. And of the 24 that were new construction, most of them, I'd say probably 80% of them, were in 55 and older communities. So it's a very unique market for us.
There's only like 25 pre-owned homes listed right now in the whole market?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's historically low. I mean, critically low. Ridiculously low.
How many realtors are there?
In Adams County, I think there's 180.
Okay, so very small market, and you're probably the top one there. You only got to sell a couple homes right now to be the top one, but how few there are.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take me back to your decision in this market. So everyone's kind of familiar. We're talking about a very small rural market to set the stage. Tell me about your decision to hire Vyral Marketing to work your Mets. You've been in this business for 20 years. Why did you give us your money versus all the other people calling you asking for it? And be honest.
Videos and ease of making videos. Nobody likes to see themselves on video. Nobody likes to hear themselves. Nobody knows what's to really say on a video. And Vyral Marketing makes it so easy. They come up with topics for you, or you can write your own, and once you kind of get the hang of things. And I knew I had to do videos. They're all over the place. I've been a Tom Ferry coaching client, and he's been preaching for years and years and years to do videos. I've tried them, didn't really have much success with them. So when I started working with Vyral, let me tell you, the process was so easy. Um, between all the systems that you have and the people that I work with at Vyral, they made you feel comfortable. If again, it's not easy to do a video. Um, you don't know until you really get into it how easy it is. And I have to say now I'm more comfortable doing videos than I've ever been in my whole life. And I'm a former figure skater, so I'm used to being in front of people. It's not, this is totally different. Didn't like it at
Figure
all.
skater.
And yeah, you didn't know that about me. Okay, yeah.
Learn something new about you.
Uh, well, my brother and I skated pairs. We were nationally ranked. I coached for a number of years. I lived in Sweden for 4 years, and I was one of their head coaches over there. And my best student over there made the '88 Calgary Games. So interesting
Learn
little back
something new.
and side note on that. Yeah. So I'm very comfortable being in front of people. But not sitting in an atmosphere like this where it's just me. And trust me, I didn't know anything about editing or putting all the bells and whistles in. You guys made it so easy. So easy. I love it. I look forward to my time with Adriana and Morgan. They, we have a great time. I'm your best fan here, I think. I really am.
Well, thank you. So, are you making money with it? So you're giving us
Yes.
money. How do you know you're making more
Yes.
money?
Well, I get calls all the time. In fact, I showed some properties yesterday. I was pitch hitting for my husband who was needed to be in two places at once. So I went out and showed some properties for him. And the lady looked at me and she goes, "I've seen you somewhere before." And I went, "Uh-oh, where?" And she says, "You're that lady on TikTok." Oh no. And she had seen some of my videos on TikTok that Viral puts out for me. And I just to give you TikTok, which trust me, I'm sort of on the fence with TikTok, but let me tell you, I've had more results from TikTok and social media than I've ever had in 20 years. I've never seen people just go, "Oh, I like her. I like what she's saying. I need to follow her." And then, a couple weeks later, they start messaging me. Really? I tried all that
So,
before. It didn't work.
well, last questions about working your Mets, then we'll get into why everyone's here because everyone
Okay.
after you built the database in the first place. But you were staying in touch with your database before. You just decided to step up and do it with video. That was the big difference.
Absolutely. I am the queen of follow-up. All of my brokers have said, "Wow, you actually have a system. You have campaigns." We do a 10-year follow-up, campaign. Now it's just added to all of that with video. I have past clients calling me now saying, "Thank you so much for your video. I'm now thinking about selling. Can you come over and talk to me?"
Oh, that's great. Okay.
That's brilliant.
So we worked your existing list of 20 years and
Mhm.
we increased it by getting you on social media, doing the retargeting, sending the video emails out, following the viral marketing system. And for those of you watching, you can get a copy of that on our homepage of our website. Go to getviral.com. You can download the official video marketing plan right on the homepage. You can also go to our classes and you can watch season 1 of the weekly marketing classes, which I brought up earlier in the video, where I work with Julianne for 1 hour for 8 weeks to help her fully dial in extracting the most business as possible from her database with the weekly marketing classes that we teach. She was one of those students for 8 weeks. But now I want to get into what the title of the interview is. Once you did everything you could to the point of diminishing returns to get the most business as possible from your existing list, your past clients, your centers of influence, your lead nurturers, everybody in your Gmail contacts, everybody in your phone contacts we got, everybody in your CRMs, that we exported and got and cleaned up and did everything we could there for your existing list, it still wasn't enough. And you called me as a client saying, Frank, I'm really scared. Take me back to that point of that conversation we had where Vyral wasn't enough.
Well, I was very happy with Vyral. I just knew that there could be more done with it. And I needed a way to really focus and target on sellers because our market is so strange right now, and it's a very difficult market for both buyers and sellers. And you and I came up with this idea to go ahead and mail out to existing homeowners that had a very high likelihood of selling. And you prepared the message for me. We mailed it out, and I got, looking at my numbers over here, 397 leads or people calling.
Are those
You
unique?
told me to.
397 unique calls, or is that total calls?
Yes. Now, a lot of them called me directly. They didn't use your
The
number.
trackable number.
Yeah, they didn't use the trackable number. So they called me directly. 397. I ended up with 3 listings from that right away. All 3 are either under contract or have closed. And I'm working with 5 others right now that they want to list, but unfortunately there's no place for them to go, or they're doing new construction and they have to wait 6 to 8 months. One couple is moving to Florida for that. So it's a tough market, but I really needed to focus on sellings or listings.
Listings.
And I got them. They're pipeline now, okay, which is great. I'm not complaining at all.
So we spent lesson 1 in the class is that it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
for us to do our job at Vyral if you don't give me a good database. So we're going to start
Correct.
with your past clients in Sphere and everyone you know. But the best database is when you're adding people to it who are calling you to sell their house, whether now or in the future.
Correct.
So I was
Right.
like, Julianne, I asked you, okay, well, what's your strategy to get people calling you who want to sell their home that are brand new? And what was your strategy at the time before we put
Didn't
this
have
new one
one.
in place? Didn't have one.
Didn't have one.
Okay. And you've been in business for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I suggested to you, hey, why don't we get the names and addresses of all the single family homeowners in the entire county? What's the county in Gettysburg?
Adams County.
Ames County. That's right. You said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go pull a list of everyone in Ames County that owns a home where they're the natural owner. It's not a trust or LLC. Where they've lived there for at least 10 years, so there's plenty of equity to pay you, and they're probably older, which is your typical listing. And
Correct.
maybe throw out the low end of prices. Maybe throw out luxury, whatever luxury is in
Mm-hmm.
Gettysburg. Leave that side off, right? And let's see what the list came back at. I think it was about, I can't remember the exact number. Was it 5,000 total
It was
homeowners?
just
Remember the
under
size of the list?
5,000. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, this is a pretty small market, Julianne, but I think there's about 5,000 homeowners here
Mm-hmm.
that would probably ever potentially want to sell their home that meet the criteria of someone to buy a list with you. And then I was like, we got to get them a message, letting them know that you have buyers for their home because you really did. Now tell me about the situation is that you had a lot of buyers that really were looking for a home. Is that correct?
That is correct. At the time the mailing went out, we had 60 buyers.
How
That
did
was
you
just
have 60 buyers? How did you get 60 buyers on your list?
well, we're really good on the buyer side. Really good. Okay. I'm going to say pretty much the whole 20 years, we've really been heavy buyer agents. We just have a lot of people moving to the area. But when interest rates started going up and housing inventory started going down, it was kind of like, okay, we still need to make money. So that's where you came in, that, you were working really, really hard to find a solution for that. And the letter is definitely, I think in any market, this letter is going to work. But in our market, obviously, there's 397 people that want to sell. Are you kidding me? That would change our market,
Yeah.
literally. And it's been difficult to try to convince them, okay, you got to sign the papers. We got to get it on the market
Well, because they got to
so
find
that
somewhere to go.
other, well, yeah, I mean, but it's not going to change if nobody lists. So I've met with several of these buyers 3, 4, 5 times, and they're getting closer. It's just, it's hard to make that decision if you have no place to go. Even if you say, look, we promise you, you won't have to sell until you find a house. And we put that in the listing. We make it clear that they have to find a home of choice, all that kind of stuff. But it's still slim pickings for a lot of these homes.
So let's call it 5,000 single family homes. Hold the list. And then we typed up, this is something I did just to help you out personally, just for anyone watching this. Vyral Marketing does not do this. We only stay in touch with your existing database. So you came to me and you said, Frank, I really need help building it. What do you recommend? And I was like, well, like I said, let's get a list of homeowners. And then I said, do you have buyers? You have 60. I was like, my goodness. Well, let's tell them that you have 60 buyers. let's get a message to all
Yeah,
these homeowners that I'm a
yeah,
realtor here for 20 years. And I have a whole bunch of people that probably want to pay you 100% fair market value for your home. I got a whole
or
bunch of
more.
them, 60 of them or more, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
if you call me, I might be able, maybe, to be able to do the whole thing off market, which can save you a lot of stress and hassle of open houses and showings and
right.
all that goes into a deal. And if you're thinking about selling your house and you're open to the idea of a little more of a streamlined sale and you like to know what my buyers can pay you, please call me. And I helped you out. I typed up that letter for you. If you Google and you go online and you type in golden letter, you'll see a whole bunch of examples of this. This isn't new. You Google any podcast or the golden letter strategy, and we
Mm.
mailed it. And the phone blew up. You're telling me
Yeah, yeah,
397
yeah.
people called off of 5,000?
Uh-huh. Yep.
What is that?
I
So
thought it was a huge
390.
success.
Yeah, that's incredible. So let's just figure out I can't do math. 397 divided by 5,000. So you got an 8% response rate, which is huge. Typically in direct mail, you get 1%
Yeah.
responding. Like if you send
Uh,
1,000 letters, you'll
I
be lucky
know.
to get like 10 people calling.
Yeah.
But why did that
And I've been
message
in
resonate with it?
advertising before. 1% is wildly
Pretty
successful.
good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you got an 8% response rate. Why did you get an 8%
correct.
response rate? That's insane. Why did you get 8 times the response in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania with such a stupidly simple conceptually
Maybe it was
concept?
your message. I don't know. I think it was your message because, there's a lot of people, you and I talked about this. Maybe they don't want people walking through their house. Maybe there's repairs that need to be done and they might not have the funds to do it. There could be all kinds of things. There could be an older we have a lot of older communities here. It could be somebody that just went into a home and the heirs come in and they go, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with all this stuff? Okay. There's just so many reasons why somebody may not want to list their home and have everybody, including neighbors, come through their home on an open house. So the letter was a means to an end. Call me, let me come out and talk to you, and we'll work out a strategy. If one of my buyers is interested, we'll make an offer. It was priceless. I mean, the message right there, could it get any easier? I don't think so.
How many people went around the trackable number? Because there was only one call to action letter was just to call you. It wasn't go to your website or anything else.
I
A lot of people went
understand, but
around the letter though, but researched you and reached to you around the
they
letter.
they did. I even had people come in through my website, lesniakgroup.com. So, it's whoever is trying to reach me, I guess um, they are tech savvy. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to check me out before they actually made a phone call to see if I was who I really am and maybe not spam, because there's a lot of spam going around these days.
So, Julianne, we just applied some of the basic principles of lesson one in the
Mhm.
marketing class. When someone's not getting results at viral marketing and want better results, one of the first questions I ask in lesson one is, are you advertising or prospecting correctly to build your database of the person that you want? You chose direct mail, you did this. Tell me a little bit about, when I priced this out, I was like, Julianne, I'm just saying, why don't you just mail all of them? We came back with 5,000 homes. And I think
Yeah.
your brain was like, well, we should mail like, a couple hundred. I was like, no, like we should mail them all. Let's mail all 5,000. And that was a big
Yeah.
gut check for you, especially when I came back from the mail house that I recommended
Yes,
to
it
you. I think it
did.
was like what, $4,500 or $4,200.
Yeah.
I think it worked
Yeah.
out to be something like 85 to 90 cents a letter
Yeah.
for them to print it and stuff it and mail it first class with a stamp. And I asked you, like, do you want to roll the dice on spending that kind of money to get the phone to ring? And you say, okay, so why don't you go back with the audience here is like, yeah, you got 397 phone calls, but you risked a lot of money to do it. I want you to speak
Mhm.
to somebody that's watching this that would love to get your results, but you got to put your money where your mouth is. And you did it. So why don't you tell me about that the emotional process of spending the money to get the leads in the first place?
Well, after 20 plus years in the business, you do have to spend money in order to make money. Um, you know, I've I've done that my whole career. So it was a big ticket to just say, here you go, Frank, here's my card and let's go. And you did your darndest to downplay everything. Don't expect a lot of calls. Don't
Oh, I told you to burn it all the money in the trash. I was like, you're going to take this $4,500
exactly,
and literally set it on
exactly. Yeah.
fire, and let's set that as the expectation to start.
Yeah, you did. And I was like, oh, okay. Now mind you, I have a
Julian, I'm blown
team.
away by
Okay.
an 8% response rate's insane. I was blown
Oh,
away.
me too. I'm still, my head just went, but you have to understand, I have a team. I still have a team, but I had lost two of my agents due to the stress of the pandemic and some family health issues. And so it was down to basically my husband and myself. Our daughter is also a realtor, but she's got a full-time job as well because the market really took a hit here with everything. And so my husband said, "Well, just let's go ahead and mail the letters, and you can take the phone calls." And I went, "Okay, no problem." I think I went to bed with this thing up against my head. I don't think the first 2 weeks, I was on my phone from 8 in the morning until about 8 or 9 at night. I was getting phone calls. I had to turn my phone off completely, which I really rarely do. I was getting people calling me at midnight.
Were they actually want
I,
to sell, or are they yelling at you?
well, a couple. We did have a couple, just two, really old people. And one of them, I ended up being very good friends with him, and I still talk to him on a regular basis. He says he's going to give my phone number and my business card to his heirs because he's not selling now. He wants to be carried out feet first, and then I can sell his house. I about died. And when somebody tells you that, it's kind of like you can take it one of two ways. I just said, "You know what, sir? I think that's a great option." I said, "And please let me know who I'm going to be hearing from." And so now I know who all of his kids are, and we email back and forth. I mean, he's 85 years old, I think. Yeah, he just had it. No, he's 86. He just had his birthday, and I sent him a birthday card. So it's a future list.
Funny. That's good.
It is. Yeah.
That's good.
And then I've had a couple of other people. We have a lot of historical buildings here, Civil War era. And I've had a lot of calls from people Um, and I've gone out to talk with them. They're not quite ready to sell. They only bought it a couple of years ago, so they want to wait and enjoy the atmosphere. One was haunted. Okay. I mean, even I had an experience while I was there, and it was whew, a little dramatic, I tell you. But he and I also, this whole business
You
is
should
about building
Airbnb it
relationships.
as a haunted
Well,
place and make a whole bunch of money.
yeah, I made that or do tours. Okay. So trust me, we're very good friends now. This whole business is about relationships. So yeah, not all of those 397 people are going to sell right this minute, but
But building a
you can
database.
go put me on record. I'm going to stay in touch with every single one of them. That is future business for me.
Beautiful. So this is the message when I wrap this up. For someone who's watching this, you're a current viral client with a great follow-up touch system in place. Before you hired us, you just hired us to enhance it with video, which got you the extra marginal
Yeah.
results you expected. But you needed to grow your database. So if you were to go watch lesson 1, are you building your database correctly with the right prospecting and advertising? And there's lots of ways to grow your database, but you chose to go after listings. We chose to get a
Mhm.
mailing list, and you chose to use a letter as the media. And we chose to put on that letter that you had a bunch of buyers for their home and to call you to find out what your buyers would be willing to pay. And you mailed a lot to put the statistical odds in your favor of finding someone who wanted to sell. Apparently 397 people do. And they all respond to you either through the trackable number and letter or around the website in some way. And you had to follow up with all those people. My gosh, that's a lot of work.
I'm still following up with some of them because they work during the day, and then there's a lot of sports in our area, and they're younger families, so they have kids in sports right now, swimming, football, all that kind of stuff. But trust me, I'm still trying to tag them.
And if you're watching it this far and you would like me personally to send a letter out for you, I do that by referral only. It is not something that Vyral does. Don't ask Vyral Marketing to send out a cold letter to build your database. It's not what Vyral does. But if you are a Vyral client, it begs the question, how do I build it? And if you are interested in using my style of copy, which is something I'm very proud of, I think that probably was the big differential. Because I'm sure there's lots of people sending mail investors with their I buy your home
Yep.
postcard in the area, but it was that personalized letter. Julianne, don't share that with anyone. That
I
letter,
won't.
don't let anyone else get a copy of that, because that specialized
Yeah,
writing, the way that was written, is probably why it pulled 8%.
yeah.
And if
Well,
someone else
to
starts
be
mailing that,
honest,
it's going to start watering it down.
I've done the postcards, just listed, just sold, are you thinking about selling? All of those things. This this letter that you created, oh my gosh, I've never ever had the results that I've had that I did with this letter. I don't, you're a genius, plain and simple.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, if you guys have any questions for anyone watching this, Julianne, thank you so much. If anyone has any referrals, apparently a lot of people are moving to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Probably sounds
They
affordable,
are.
right?
It
So if
is.
anyone coming to,
And it's beautiful.
yeah. So if anyone's moving to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, call Julianne up. All right. You can also call her and ask her
Yeah.
about her results with the Vyral Marketing system with their current database. You can also ask her about the process more in detail, what we went through to build, to actually send a cold letter. But Julianne, if anyone
Yeah.
asks, don't share it. That's private to you. All right. That's a competitive
Oh, well.
advantage for you, that letter. And if you are interested, if you happen to be watching this and you want me to write a letter for you specific to you, just reach out to me privately. It's not something Vyral will do. But with that, Julianne, thanks for the interview today. Hopefully this helps some people out to center them on building the database correctly to get listings and generally the strategy of what to do. We just had a client, someone that was signing up, I'll share this, was left Vyral and apparently spending $2,000 a month on Instagram trying to get
Oh,
listings. Hasn't gotten anything and is in contract and can't hire us because they're under contract to spend 24 grand a year on Instagram to get listings. And I don't really have met anyone that's getting a consistent stream of listings from Instagram. From a cold list,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
Could you imagine if they put $2,000 a month in the letters and what that would do?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'd have to
hopefully the
hire an
person who can help them
entire
out.
staff to handle those phone calls.
Yeah. So Julianne, thanks for doing this. I appreciate everyone watching.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Frank.